Konene, so jana kuna vile Kalonzo alibaki ameenda interview on NTV na ilikuwa a very interesting interview, ama alikuwa interviewed by NTV because one of the things zile alibonga juu yake ni General Ogolla, but before bonge juu Ogolla alikuwa na bonga juu ya the fact that he felt like he's being like makarao wa Kenya wako under instructions kuchukua picha zake na like other opposition leaders. So yes, this was his example of the fact that right now we are living in a police state.
I think I'll give you the most recent example of how Kenya is becoming a police state. Today in Githiga, for the first time since I went into public leadership, a police officer in uniform, full uniform, and I really thanked him, comes to that function and he's taking photographs. One corner there, mimi na Eugene, ingine pale, and then when he asked him, he said, it is that photo is required by his commanders. Commander, what does that tell you? That we cannot even genuinely go and enjoy company in a church service without being photographed by the police? But having said that, and I thanked that officer because he was very, very sincere. I hope they don't victimize him. I wish others are as transparent as him.
Damn, masikio. Umsana sema that walienda kwa nini? Walikuwa church na wanapigwa picha na karao. Okay. No, karao hakuwa even discreet. You could do about chiki. Afu hapo mwisho vile amaliza, I hope he's not victimized because of course karao mwenyewe kukam clean na kusema that he needs to take the photos for his bosses. That was not a good idea. But yeah, tuendelee.
I wish others are as transparent as him, saying it's required of us to know nani amekuja huku. All right? But having said that, we have a very professional army. Indeed, I hold the view that please, William Ruto, mess around with everything else, but don't mess around with Tonje rules, which govern succession in the military. Of course, I know there are attempts to do certain things. I maintain Gen.Ogolla was taken out.
Damn, nakumbuka the last time Kalonzo alibonga J story nilienda up nikikover, and he insists on it, and the fact that he insists on it, yeah, starts to make sense. Because I remember this conspiracy theory come up, and then it was dismissed, and then but it still comes up. So what's the conspiracy?
Because how do you fly commander of the Kenya's defense forces in an 80-year-old aircraft to go and inspect a primary school which was under construction in a military invested, bandit invested area?
Hiyo story haikuwa na make sense because I remember like ile time Ogolla alidedi watu walikuwa hivyo like kwani alikuwa anaenda kuinspect like a primary school. That does not look like something that should be done by the CDF. But you know, I don't know. Najua kuna vile usemaga siku ya nyani kuanguka ni kila mtu uteleza, ama siku ya nyani kufa kila mtu uteleza. I don't know.
So, apart from that, I'm happy that our boys have come back from Haiti. That was a mission impossible. And I think they tried to do whatever. When they touched down there, they were able to kiss Kenyan soil. They're back home. We wanted that because we attended the funeral of some of them in Kajiado and elsewhere. But
so ilikuwa ni Kalonzo akibonga juu ya General Ogolla and akibonga juu ya the fact that according to ye Ogolla was taken out, and I think that's one of the things that will always be there until maybe a different regime comes in and truly investigates the whole story and finds out. Because pia ilikuwa inasemekanaga that when Ogolla was traveling, he was always supposed to have his deputy or some assistant. I think he's his assistant, and that day mysteriously his assistant was not there. So kuna kwagana those two question marks around Ogolla. But kile muso maga ni shida kitu kama hiyo ni pia ufai kuisema without enough evidence, because it ends up just bringing up a lot of political feelings that I feel like sometimes Kenya tunakuwaga so divided that the less feelings are there, the better. But yeah, Kalonzo of course right now tukiangalia the true front runners ni yeye na Ruto. So if he ends up being president, maybe that's something he can pursue. But tukitoka kwa hiyo story, another interesting story nimekuwa nikifuatilia ni story ya Waiguru. So Waiguru aliamua kuendea mtu wa mlima Gachagua. Na hii can remind that kuna raia kwa menjoi Gachagua juu stories za birthday, cause Kenyan politics inakuwaga so messed up, na inakuwaga messed up in what way? Kuna kuwaga na certain level of sycophancy that unakuwaga nayo. So of course, which month was this? In December 2022, Ruto had just become president, and Ruto was very tight with Rigathi Gachagua. So what did Rigathi Gachagua on the 21st of December post? Aliandika, happy birthday His Excellency President William Ruto, my boss, my friend, God bless you. Then saizi mseneti wa Sober Mind alikuwa amejoke, my boss, my friend, reminds me of that phone call between Mzee Jomo and Moi. Ndio mzee, sawa mzee. But that's not even the post that I found to be interesting. For personally find it interesting ni raya inajita bandit. Kama niko leo hu post, cause I hate hii politics yetu. Hii politics ya sycophancy where you have to keep praising this person. So hii time walikuwa mabesti, of course. This I don't think Gachagua was wrong to post na kusifu msee. But now it's come to bite him, because damn, he my boss, my friend, God bless you, this has turned to Gedenji, inaitwa nini tena, Zakayo, Kasongo. Like it's turned into so much hate in that, I don't know if I'm going to call it short time, because it's 3 years. Yes, but it's turned into something that I did not expect. So yeah, that's interesting. Alafu hii pia remind, kuna a certain meme niliona ya Gachagua that was too good jo. Ilikuwa ni Gachagua amepigilia makondro zake, alafu na chikijo nika nywele jo inaanzia hapa katikati. This was funny. Ile kumenjoy ile design ya wasichana wa mlima, like nywele inaanzia hapo katikati. Basi sasa acha tuongee juu ya msichana wa mlima. Kuna huyu msichana wa mlima anaitwa Waiguru. Na Waiguru of course tunamjua at some point yeye na Ruto walikuwa at each other's necks. Unajua nakumbuka ile time kulikuwa na the NYS scandal. Ruto alikuwa anataka story za huyo, hata Murkomen alikuwa anataka story yake. But somehow Kenyan politics men also they are no permanent enemies, just permanent interests. So wacha tumsikize saizi kile alikuwa anasema.
Kidogo tu mnikubalishe ya kinyumbani. Sisi hatuna ubaya na mtu yeyote. Lakini kama tulisema sisi ni viongozi. Na mimi mnajua siongei kila siku. Si ndio? I can tell you the entire of this year sijaingia kwa TV kufanya interview. Mwaka mzima na mimi governor. I haven't. Si ndio? Mimi sijafanya interview, lakini nikikuwa katika kazi watu wa runinga huja. Muwa kazini. Nimesikiza mwaka moja, nikafikiria, nikaangalia, nika-evaluate. Na kusema tu na roho safi. Ukiangalia mwenosho negote.
Mwenosho, ukiangalia side ingine ni ya kutupa, mani ya kutupa ni sheng, hiyo I think ni ya kushindwa, yani side ya kushindwa. Mzaniambia if I've translated it the right way, but yes, nasema hiyo side ingine ni side ya kushindwa.
Ukweli wa mambo. Nisika kudanganya, wacha nikuulize. Wewe unataka kuanza kusimama kitu ukijua utashindwa? Leo ukianza kusimama, ujue hakuna mahali utaenda. Utoe pesa zako kwa mfuko uende ukasimame. Si mtu ujipanga safari. Na sio anything. Look at ile excitement ya kitambo. Kuna wale walikuwa wamekasirika na nilisema hivyo, we understand. Lakini hatuwezi ishi hapo. I feel you. Si ndio? Lakini hamwezi ishi hapo. Lazima tusonge
Okay, so hapo I think anabonga juu vile watu wa mlima walikuwa wamekasirika sana after Gachagua kuwe impeached. So anasema that watu wezi ishi hapo. Najua the anger can't stay forever. The anger has to subside. Do I think the anger has subsided? I don't think so. I still think there's a certain level of anger, but unajua as a politician you have to speak like this, because mother pia, she's in her second term, so she knows she needs to survive politically beyond this.
mbele. Hivyo umesikia ati lazima tutengeneze njia ya kila mtu wa Mount Kenya. Hiyo yezi fanya tujitupe tuende opposition. Sisi ndio sasa tukue kwa barabara tukipigwa na tear gas kama wale ambao walikuwa wamezoea, hata hao wamekataa kurudi opposition na huko ndio walikuweko.
Damn, hapo of course is a statement that's riddled with tribal connotations and but I understand it's the Kenyan political way.
Wametusukuma wako ndani ya serikali ati na sisi tunatoka tuende opposition.
Mimi ndio huko nimekataa sirudi barabarani.
Sasa angalia wenyewe wamekataa. Wanasema wanaingia broad based. Na sasa sisi ati tutoke. Tushinde kwa barabara na wale wenye unafuata hawana plan. They don't have it.
History ati akina Gachagua anaga plan. I don't know what that means. Because the same thing Uhuru used to say about Ruto, that Ruto does not have a plan. Like when I'm tanga anaenda left, right, center. Would I want more? Like, would I want Kenyan politics to be more issue-based? Yes. But it is what it is. Najua inakuwaga hivyo. So it's just people talking shit about each other and people pulling each other down. So that's the politics that we know. And to say that it's not a plan is to, a certain level, is to be dishonest. Because that's the plan. The plan is, I'm going to talk shit. And even Ruto mwenyewe amekuwa kibonga shit juu ya nani, like Kalonzo kusema haja kutengeza mabarabara blah blah blah.
Na mimi mahali niko, I was in the 2013 campaign. Huko nyuma najua campaign ya national inapangwa namna gani and what is required. 2017 I was there, national, and 2022 I was there. It's not a joke to run a campaign of a country. Na sio kura zetu za Wakikuyu peke yake. Lazima ushirikiane na watu wa Coast, Western, Kambani, wapi. Na nyinyi wenyewe si kura za testing zilifanywa. Simulijionea.
Hapa anamaanisha kura za Mbere North. Ikikam to collaboration, I'd say kuna Gachagua akileta the mountain, Kalonzo ataleta Ukambani, alafu Matiang'i ataleta the Kisii land, kina Natembea wataleta the western vote. So to say that it's just the mountain is also to be a certain level of dishonest. And also don't forget that if Kalonzo is able to convince a significant chunk of ODM that alistand na Raila, target votes, hiyo inamaanisha pia votes from Coast, votes from Nairobi, votes from, so alafu pia ikam to stories Mbere North, yes, the president won because Wambodhende alishinda, but does that mean that the president won as in the presidential vote? I don't think so. I think the mountain is gone, but tuendelee.
There's no explanation. Mtu asikaseme ati pesa ilitumiwa. Kwani 2027 kutatumiwa nini? Na bado. When people start competing, it's going to be very serious. Na mimi siongei kwa sababu ya kupendwa ama nikose kupendwa. I speak the truth. I will be in government if I'm the last one in that government. I will tell you kuja muniulize on August 11th 2027. Sikutakuwa kumetangazwa kwa sababu uchaguzi utakuwa August 8th. Si ndio? August 11th. Bado nitakuwa hapa nikingojea incoming governor. Mimi nishafanya tutam zangu.
Okay. So Umadha, I think nikisikiza hii speech, I think Nini speech and I hope that Ruto will stay president through hook and crook if the votes don't work out. And ama pia na hope that Ruto can still win. Najua like either of the two, but according to her, Shaji convinced that Ruto is coming back for a second term. So now she's positioning herself to make sure that since atakuwa amemaliza governorship yake, maybe she's looking for a CS job. After the CS, they will always that dream that I want to be the first female president. Unajua every nini wanakuwaga na hiyo dream. want to be the first Samia. Na Samia alichoma jo, so I don't think that's as appealing as it was before. History yote ili happen, ya TZ ku happen. But yeah, wacha tumalizie.
Sindio? I'll be here. Wale ambao wananiangalia wakinishuku, look at my track record. By God's grace, I've never been on a losing side. And that's why I don't talk often. But when I do, look. I'm the first woman to be elected twice in Kenya. And the first woman to be elected governor in the mountain. And the first woman to be elected twice in this mountain. Kwena kaudojoe.
Kwena kaudojoe. Kuna kitu najua. Kama kuna kakitu najua.
Dige korote demo ge mono no. Kalikotige akaudo kanini joe. Kanatea.
Yeah, siwezi kuwa hivi tu. Lazima kuna kitu mimi najua. Si ndio? So but I feel it was just an attack on naitwa nani Gachagua, because Gachagua amekuwa kistress sana wasi, because let's be realistic, these people never expected this guy who was like the least qualified amongst them to end up being the guy that he ended up being. Unajua, being this powerful guy, so they'll always have a problem with him, and that's why they'll always throw all these jibes at him. So we'll see. I still feel the mountain is gone. Ruto will have to get his vote from other regions. Checky. That's because the tribal vote is back. That's the reason why a little bit of criticism, tribalism will come up. So we are back to that tribal politics and tribal arithmetic, which is really good for Ruto also. Because Ruto can argue it out and be like, you know what, mi napeleka maendeleo kila pahali, blah, blah, blah. Because, yes, Kenya inakuwaga hivyo. Nachiki kabla liende Ukambani kulaunch barabara. Chikizo hizo ndo vitu watabaki wamecheki. Yeah, wacha ni interrupt show kukuremind kuwa Lemfi inakupatia a chance to win a flight to East Africa. And all you have to do ni send money home na pia refer a friend. Alafu kisha refer a friend, una stand a chance ya kuwin a $2,000 flight voucher. Na usisahau jo, kifanya history yote, promo code ni ekonene. Usisahau pia, like on your first $50 transaction, unabaki umegeta sign up reward ya $20. So damn, cheki jo hiyo. Na in the process una support ekonene. So usisahau kutumia promo code ekonene. Na cheki. So hiyo unataka hiyo nini, like a $2,000 flight voucher. Very simple, vile nimesema. Tumia promo code ekonene, alafu send at least $50, si ndio? Utapata bado hiyo $20 sign up reward. Alafu utajipatia chance ya kushinda hiyo. Na usahau jo, ni festive season. Hii compare kuna shindo inaendelea mpaka lini? Inaendelea between 8th December to January 8th, 2026. So baki umechangamka. Yeah, haraka jo. Si ndio? Yeah? Wacha so turudi kwa show. So but kimalizia kwa hii nini, wacha tucheki story nyingine unrelated from politics. Hii ni story nilicheki on on Citizen, and it's ilikuwa interesting, and story ni jua nini, considering that majuzi tulikuwa tunasikia jua huyu umse wa KBC Mayenga FM ilikuwa nasemekana that alibaki amepoteza maisha. Acha tusikize.
In the country have raised concern over the growing cases of abuse of sexual performance enhancing drugs. The prescription-only pills intended for men suffering from erectile dysfunction are increasingly being used by healthy men seeking to prolong sexual performance and pleasure. Though not officially reported, several men have lost their lives in the process. In our special investigation tonight, we establish how a broken regulatory system has allowed rogue pharmacies and chemists to literally pop the blue pill.
Damn. So hiyo alienda po kidu a feature on vile wasewa na nini wana misuse the blue pill. Alafu ilikuwa very interesting coming after history ya Mayenga ku happen, najua. And of course history ya Mayenga ilikuwa ilikuwa inasemekana allegedly alibaki amesuffer heart attack courtesy of the blue pill. So the blue pill originally, najua inasemekana that this was a side effect that hakuwa anajua, but that was not the intention. Hiyo blue bado ushasikia gaumse best yetu at the show anaitwa Gashao anasema gawaga na hip hop cause inasaidia blood kuflow kila pahali, so that means that it's being misused. But apart from that nasemekanaga like inaweza cause irregular heartbeats, and in the process you end up may cause like the damage, and the damage is death. But wacha tusikie part of the report.
Just like that, we obtain our first 50 milligram blue pill. No prescription, no questions asked. We walk into the next chemist, same script. Here, we purchase a 100 milligram blue pill. The pattern is the same across most pharmacies in the area. No prior medical history is taken. No prescription is requested. No questions are asked. It all comes down to money and the customers asking.
Duka ya kwanza ndio hii hapa. Hapo niuliza any prescription, alinipa tu. Duka ya pili akaniuliza kitu, akanipa ndio hii. Hizi zote tumetumia kwa 500, nimebaki na 150 na ndio hii hapa. So moja hii ilikuwa 200, hii 100 na hii 50.
So zote 350.
These
pills are clearly labeled from the packet cover right down to the drug itself. Different brands available in varying strengths: 25 milligrams, 50 milligrams, and 100 milligrams.
Damn, kuna mpaka 100. Okay. So kulikuwa na hiyo feature ya Citizen. And I don't know. I know kuna hizi vifo zime happen. Nezataka kujua in these developed countries, unaweza tuambia like does this require that like kuwa na hiyo prescription? Cause nachekigi I think nikiwatch hizi mashow za Majuno naonaga hymns. Alafu nakuwa hiyo hymns inafaa kusaidia na stories za ED. So does it require a prescription, ama is it something that you can get over the counter? But yes, I can get the crisis right now because unapata maybe hata maboy wako young or in the early 20s who decide to experiment with this, and yeah, it can be a slippery slope. Alafu pia of course kwa mabuda wazee pia we don't want heart yako ibaki imetekiwa like at a speed that it cannot keep up with. So this was an interesting article kucheki jo alafu maybe nikimalizia ni hiyo story ya Nini the president. So the president jana was his birthday. Kuna swali kuna sema that information was given to us as a distraction to make us forget everything that's happening in the country. But now you have to go back to 2022 and see Gachagua had posted that it's his birthday on 21st of December. So mnafikiria nini hizi stories of my birthday, my president, vice president? Do you actually need to know this story? Ama they're irrelevant to us? Because personally, of course, I don't care ile school the president was born. I'm more interested in what is he putting on my table. Najua. And so far, African presidents just disappoint me. So, but pia tuna live in places where they are demigods. So they are treated in a certain level. So nyi mnafilaje, were they trying to distract us yesterday? Ama it was something that we needed to know. So tuambieni jo. Alafu kitu ilikuwa funny tena ni nini, kulikuwa na ile post ya kawaida ya Rachel Ruto, and hii post ya Rachel Ruto ili ni remind like one of the funniest things to shaifanya kwa the weekend update, najua. So Ruto of course, yani ama Rachel Ruto lazima amuandikie. So alikuwa ameandika ni my dear Bill, happy birthday. Today I thank God for the gift of your life, for the journey we've walked together, for your courage in moments of uncertainty, and for the steady love and discipline with which you carry the weight of the leadership. I've seen your heart for Kenya, your tireless commitment to serve, and the quiet sacrifices that often go unseen. As you mark another year, my prayer is that God grants you good health, inner peace, and renewed strength. Then ikaendelea, may he support you with wisdom, protect your steps, reward your labor, with hope for our nation and joy in our family. With all my love and gratitude, I celebrate you not only as a leader, a father, a husband, but as the man God has entrusted to us. Then akabaki ameseti picha hapa. Africa ni remind, I don't know kama ni weekend update we do last year ama the day ama the year before, but I remember ni Rapture alikuwa anatupatia hiyo story that such a post had been written, and msee akaenda kwa comments akasema like itumbi tulia tunajua ni wewe. I found that to be super funny because of course I think the person who posted that has to be the social media manager. And was it maybe the words given by the first lady? Yes, but still, find Joe is a dude, Joe. Ikiwa ni kazi yako, you have to type, man. Uliambiwa like you have to post it. At what point time was this posted? Yes, uliambiwa you have to post. Make sure you post that post by what time? By 11 a.m. Umsaka post by 10:38 sharp. Was it the first lady? Was it was it Itumbi this time? Who was it? I don't know. But was it a distraction? I also don't know. So, baki umeniambia hapo kwa comments. Iko nene.